Hello everyone, welcome back to another vlog. Most of this footage and this vlog was filmed in the first half of April. It's taken me a little while to get this put together. It's actually been sitting like all compiled, ready to go for about a week, and I've just been waiting to do this voiceover, but I haven't had a spare moment. It's the school holidays here in Melbourne at the moment, which means that, there's a lot of things happening. And so this is the first time I've had a chance to sit down and actually look over this and add a little voiceover. So I started out this month doing a bit of a clean up at home with my little art corner. So I set up this art corner during lockdown, and it's been really useful at home for when I'm just wanting to do quick little studies or work on some small things, but it was getting a bit chaotic. There was stuff everywhere. So I sorted through everything, organised everything, and got it all into a way that I can actually use it because I'd kind of started to spread out onto the dining table and I wasn't really using this desk at all. It was just storing stuff. So I cleared out everything and reorganized it all and made it all nice and neat. And although it still probably looks a little bit chaotic to anyone else, to me it's quite neat. It's organized. I know where everything is now. I've got the paints all sort of sorted out into separate little baskets. I've got everything where it needs to go. So I now feel like I can kind of use it a little bit easier, and I can sit down and work on stuff without having to clear off too much chaos to begin with. And of course, we had to have a kiddie inspection. The kiddie inspectors came, so this is Luna inspecting the space to make sure it passes, rules and regulations. She was quite happy and not bothered by it. The next inspector, of course, Beanie, who is the chief inspector, who has to inspect everything that changes in the house. He approved and didn't think it was too much of a change, so he was happy with it, and we were able to carry on with our lives. So another part of the start of the month was spent, I don't think I mentioned it, maybe I did mention it in the last video, I don't know. I've been working on an abstract landscape workshop, online workshop, and this is one of the paintings that I did as a demo for that workshop, and this was the largest painting in the workshop, the online workshop. And so I kind of spent some time filming me painting this, and this was I thought this was the last thing I had to film for this workshop, but then I realised I still need to do a bit of an introduction and a little video about composition and colour theory. So I thought I was done filming, but when I started compiling all the classes, I realised I was missing a bit of content. So I still need to film those little bits and pieces, and then the workshop will be ready to launch. So hopefully it won't be too much longer. I was hoping it would be done this month, but things have just gotten, out of control in regards to time management this month. So it hasn't happened, but yeah, I only have a few bits and pieces. It's really hard for me to record things during school holidays, and even just in my studio in general, because I need to pick a day where it's quiet in order to do the voiceover part of it. Otherwise, it's just too distracting. And it hasn't really been that quiet. So hopefully once things go back to normal, I will be able to do that. But this is the final piece, and this one's actually sold and heading to a new home. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about Patreon. I've had a Patreon account for a few months now, and I've just recently switched a few things around in the tiers. I've introduced, there was already a print club, but the print club was set up through the automatic shipping thing that Patreon does, where if you are a member of the certain tier for, I think it's 3 months, you'll then automatically get sent whatever that reward is. I didn't like it being every 3 months, so I've now changed it so that it's every month, and I've made it so that I am now in control of the printing and the shipping. So what that means is that if you want to receive a print from me every single month, you can join the print club, and it's $10 a month on Patreon, and you will receive a exclusive print, a 5x7 print every single month, and each time it will be a unique print and a print that's not available anywhere else. So you can kind of, you know, have a bit of a collection happening over a couple of months. And so yeah, I've kind of set that up now. So anyone in the $10 print club, the $25 watch and learn club, and also the $30 business club, they're the different tiers on Patreon. Anyone in those top tiers will receive a print each month, and it's the same print for everybody. And so yeah, I've just rejigged it now so that I'm doing it every month. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Anyway, I wanted to share with you the print for April. So anyone that was in the $10 tier and above as of the 25th of March qualifies for the April. So I need to have a cutoff date so that I can order the right amount of prints for everybody. So I'm just going to make it that from the 25th of the month, as long as you're signed up before then, you'll then qualify to get the next month. So anyone that signed up after March 25th won't get their first print until May. Does that make sense? So anyone that signed up in March will get April's, and then you'll get, you know, every month from then on. If you signed up in at the start of April, you won't get your print until May. So anyone that signs up from like today onwards, for example, you won't get your print until May, and then every month from then on. So anyway, this is the April one. So they're all going to be 5x7 prints, and this is the print for this month, first club. So I'll be sending everyone in that club this print. I'm also going to throw in a little bonus sticker and maybe a couple other things. Haven't quite decided yet, but I'm going to start packaging these up now, just to get them on their way. And yeah, you'll all receive an individual little letter from me in the mail. And yeah, so I'm going to do some packaging.
Okay, so while I'm packaging these, I just wanted to take a moment to talk a little bit about the difference between what is available on Skillshare and what is available on Patreon. Because I do have a lot of people asking me, you know, is the same videos on Skillshare as Patreon, and what's the difference? And if I get a Patreon subscription, what will I get versus a Skillshare subscription, because they are both subscription-based platforms. So the difference is that Skillshare is all just videos. So they're usually between an hour and an hour and a half long. There's a few different subject matters that I've covered, and I am sorry, that's, I don't know if you can hear that, but that's like road noise. But yeah, so I've covered quite a few different subjects, but they are all just basic tutorial videos. So I take you through step by step, and you can rewatch them as often as you like, as long as you have a Skillshare membership. Patreon is a little bit different. On Patreon, depending on the tier that you subscribe to, you'll get access to different things. So the equivalent of the Skillshare tier would be the Watch and Learn, which is $25 a month. And with that, you get access to full real-time videos. However, usually they're just watch and learn type videos, so I don't really talk you through step by step and tell you the colors that I'm using and all that. You just get to watch me paint something from start to finish. So there's also behind the scenes things and other stuff on Patreon as opposed to Skillshare. Also, at the beginning of the month, I travelled to Sydney, actually technically Newcastle, which is about half an hour above Sydney. I'd never been to Newcastle before, and I was flown over there to teach a workshop through Artable. So this was a landscape workshop. It ran over 2 days, and in this workshop, we go through the whole process of painting a really loose, expressive landscape. So the idea is to really explore different colours and keep everything really loose and painterly and not go for realism at all, which can be a challenge for some people, especially if they're used to painting in a more realistic manner. This is a very loose and expressive way of painting, and so yeah, everyone had a great time, and it was a really great bunch of people. There was about 12 students. And over the 2 days, we spend the first day working together on a piece, step by step, and then the second day, which is the footage you're seeing at the moment, everyone gets to just be a little bit more individual and choose their own reference photo, and I then guide them through how to approach that reference photo and approach how to make it into a painting. So this is the painting that I did on the second day. Some people chose to follow along with me and do the same reference photo and the same painting, which is fine, and then other people chose to explore their own reference photo, and yeah, everyone had a great time and it was lots of fun. I really love doing these workshops. I am heading back up to Sydney in a couple of weeks. And the great thing about Newcastle, which I had never been to Newcastle before, so I discovered that they have heaps of really great antique shops and op shops. During the lunch break of each workshop, I went and had a bit of an explore around these little op shops and antique stores. And yeah, I did pick up a few things and they came home with me to Melbourne. But yeah, it was really nice. I had lots of fun looking through these places. So you may have seen a little bit earlier on one of the shelves, this little set of salt and pepper shakers were there, and I did bring them home because they were super cute. They're a little pair of sort of antique birds, and they've got, I believe they're hand painted. The only marking they have on the bottom is that they say they're made in Japan. But they're definitely hand painted. I can sort of tell that from the texture of the application of this what's it called, glazes and things. So they're really pretty, and you can sort of see that they're quite individual. And yeah, I thought they were super cute. I think they were $20 for the pair, 20 Australian dollars. So I don't know if that was too much or not. I didn't really care. I wanted to bring them home, so I was happy to pay whatever the store owner wanted to charge me. You may have also seen this little pair of deer. They are also salt and pepper shakers, and they are also, the only marking they have is that they're made in Japan. And I thought they were super cute as well. And I bought them mainly to use as props in still life paintings and just to have as little, decorations because they were really sweet. And yeah, so sorry, it's a bit blurry here, but it does say made in Japan. That's the only marking that there is on it. So again, I'm pretty sure they're hand painted. They look like they're hand painted anyway. I also picked up this little green jug, which I nearly knocked it over when I saw the colour of this. I really loved it. This was $6, which is a good price as well, and it does have markings on it, and it says it's made in England, but I don't know how to read the markings. I don't know if it's anything significant or not. I picked it up because I really liked the glaze pattern. It's got like this really pretty pale green, but then the glazing it's really speckled. It looks like it's been, I don't know, it's like the glaze has bloomed in a really interesting way, and it's really pretty. Like, it's got all these like pale blue and mustard sort of coloured speckles, and so I thought that was really interesting. And so that came home with me as well. And I decided to pop it into a little still life setup and to paint it. So yeah, that's what I'm sort of showing here. This was the still life setup that I had. And I also recently purchased some more of these golden matte acrylics. My local art shop was having a sale of these, so you can see that most of them, the price, like this was $34 originally and it was down to $24. So all of these little pots were at least $10 off the regular price. So I thought, hey, I'll just purchase a few of them and stock up a bit, because these little pots are good for when I'm painting at home and just doing like small artworks. I don't need to worry too much about having big paint containers. And so I just got a selection of different colours. Some of these are my favourite golden colours, like the nickel azo yellow I really love, and this colour here, which I can never pronounce. I think it's anthraquin blue. I don't know. Anyway, they were on sale, and so I bought them. And so I'm actually going to use these to paint a couple of little still life artworks, because in other news, I have an exhibition coming up. I was recently approached by a local gallery that has applied to have an exhibition at a local art space in Warburton, which is my hometown. And so in June, from I think it's 5 weeks in June, so crossing over to the start of July as well, I'll be having an exhibition. And I will also be running some workshops in the same space over that time as well. So once I get more details on those, I will be sharing those details on my Facebook and my Instagram. But I need to start working on some artworks. So when I'm having an exhibition, I always like the exhibition to have a theme. I think that's a really good way to sort of help narrow your ideas. Otherwise, it can be really daunting to sort of think, okay, I need to create a collection of artworks. Where do I begin? I want to paint everything. If you sort of narrow it down and give yourself some not restrictions, but like parameters to work with, it makes it so much easier when it comes to deciding what it is you're going to paint. So when I know that I've got an exhibition coming up, the first thing I do is sit down and I work out what my theme or what my plan for this exhibition is going to be. And so for this particular exhibition, I've decided that my theme is going to be nature and nurture, because I need to have, according to the specifications set out by the gallery and the way that this is being organised, I need to have a good collection of landscapes and still lifes and even some abstracts. So I need to have a broad range of sort of styles in this little exhibition. So I thought that the subject matter of nature and nurture would be a really great place to sort of start, because I can focus on obviously landscape artworks and also bringing nature and life inside the home. So that's where the still lifes are going to come into it. So I'm not talking about nature and nurture in like the psychological sense. I'm more talking about nurturing, the nature and bringing nature into your home and making your house a reflection of the outside world by bringing in elements from outside. So that's what I'm sort of the parameters I'm kind of working with. And I know you can probably hear cockies screeching away. I'm sitting on my veranda at the moment doing this voiceover because it's the only quiet place except for the birds and the road noise. Anyway, so this little I did 3 of these little still lifes as just a bit of a starting point. I may or may not use them in the actual exhibition, but I did kind of want to get some ideas out onto, this is a canvas, this is a board actually, it's not even a canvas. And anyway, the exhibition is going to run for 5 weeks, and so I do need to start working on a collection of artworks. And I can use some artworks that I already have in my studio, but I do need a few more. So most of my time over the next probably 3-4 weeks, because we're already at the end of April, so I've got like a month. Most of this time is going to be spent creating some new artworks and getting this exhibition organised. So I need to work out, how many pieces I can have and, what I'm going to be doing. So this little study was, just to sort of get myself in the right sort of headspace, because I do want to have some still life artworks. I've never really done an exhibition before with still life artworks because I've really only just started exploring this subject matter. Normally I'm a landscape painter, so still life is new to me, but I do feel confident that I've got a grasp of it now, and I'm starting to sort of find my way of painting still lifes and keeping them in like my style. So I do want to have a few still lifes in this exhibition. So I just thought, I'm going to explore, painting from life, because normally my still lifes that I've painted so far have all been from photo references. And so I had this little setup in front of me on my table, and I thought I'd have a go at actually painting it, directly from life to see if I find that easier or more difficult. To be honest, I did find it a little bit more difficult, but it's kind of different. Like it is very different painting from life. I find it harder to exaggerate the colours in everything painting from life. That when I'm painting from like photos, I can kind of manipulate the photo to boost up the saturation, which means that when I come to painting it, I can then increase the saturation appropriately in my colour mixes. But when it's from life, you can't really boost up the saturation of your eyes. So it does make it a little bit more difficult. You kind of have to rely a bit more on like my own instincts of painting and but besides that was the only thing that I sort of found more difficult. But I did really like how this, and I ended up doing 3 of these little panels, and I do want to do more. So anyway, the exhibition is, it's going to run for 5 weeks. And as I mentioned, during that time, the gallery would like me to host some workshops. The gallery that's organising it is the Yava Gallery in Hillsville, which is the gallery that I actually run workshops from in Hillsville already. And so they have now moved or proposed the council to hold some exhibitions and things in the art space in Warburton. And so I will be moving some of my workshops from Hillsville to Warburton while this exhibition's running. So if you are in Melbourne, keep an eye out on my Instagram and my Facebook accounts, because I will be announcing when the opening will be, and there will be a little bit of an opening party, so you'll be able to come and have a look at everything and meet me and have a chat. All the artworks will be for sale as well. So that's exciting. This is the first exhibition I have had since really the pandemic started. I used to, have an exhibition every year, but the last one I had was in 2019, and then of course the world thingy that we're all sick of hearing about happened, and everyone went into lockdown, and I haven't done an exhibition since. So this is really exciting, and I'm really looking forward to it. And it's really nice to sort of have something to focus on and something to work towards, because for the last 2 years, I've kind of just been, floundering around, not really doing anything specific with my art, because there was no reason to do anything. Like, when you've got an exhibition to work towards, you've kind of got something to do. So when you go to your the studio, I can go, okay, I need to paint this for my exhibition, I need to work on this or work on that. And when there's nothing like that planned for the future or anything coming up, it's really hard to sort of focus on what you need to do with your time. So I'm really excited now that I have some focus and something that I can do. And I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm very excited, and I cannot wait. I still have about half a week left of school holidays before I can get back into my studio full time. And as soon as I do get back into that studio, I will be painting up a storm. So I may not be able to post another YouTube video for a few weeks. We'll see how we go. I'll try and record a little bit of the process of creating these artworks for the exhibition, because I do want to record that, but I may not be able to post that video for a few weeks. So we'll see how we go. It depends on how crazy busy things get. So here is the final shot of this little painting. It took me a little over an hour and a half, I think, to do this little painting. It is all just acrylic. This is all just using the golden acrylics, the matte acrylics that I showed you at the beginning. Actually quite like the consistency of these paints. For me, the golden brand is a little bit more expensive, which is why I don't use it very often, but I still like it it's quite pretty. So yeah, that's what it looks like, and that's all I really have to share at the moment. Thank you again for joining me in this little vlog, and I hope you enjoyed watching a little bit behind the scenes, and I look forward to speaking to you all again soon.